from a decimal to a fraction. Decimals to fraction, you write how you would say it, and then you simplify it. Sorry for the bad handwriting today. All right, so how would we say this? Not 0.15, but we would say it as 15 hundredths. So 15 over 100, 15 hundredths. Now you got to ask yourself, what can go into 15 that also can go into 100? Well, 5 can. So divide the top by 5 and I get 3. Divide the bottom by 5 and I get 20. Let's check each one again. 2 can't go in there. 3 could go in there, but 3 can't go here. 5 can't go into both. And then 3 can't go into both or itself, so you're done. 0.15 or 15 hundredths is the same as 3 twentieths. All right, the next one. Think about how you would say it. 2 tenths, which would then reduce to 1/5. So what happens if there's a whole number in front? Well, you do the exact same thing. This would just be 2 and 345 1/1000ths. The 2 whole number just stays when we simplify. So 2, now you got to ask yourself how many times does 5 go in there? And you are fine using a calculator. But 5 goes in there, let's see, 5 goes into 36, 69 over 200. And then that is simplified. All right, the last one. Well, that's tens, hundreds, thousands, so we say that is 8 thousandths. Okay, so let's simplify. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 1,500 times. Oops, that can be simplified again. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 500 250 times. Those are both still even. So 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 250 125 times. 8 thousandths is the same as 5 hundredths, which is the same as 2 over 250, which is the same as 1 and 1/25. So let's go the opposite way. How do I go from a fraction to a decimal? There's 2 different methods for this. One is to get, if you noticed all these bottoms are hundreds, tens, thousandths. So let's get to the bottom to be that. So let's make an equivalent fraction. How did I go from 5 to 10? I times by 2, so this would be 6 tenths as a fraction, which as a decimal is 0.6. So go ahead and try these 2. Well, to get it to 100, because I can't get to 10, I times by 4. 4 times 6 is 24, which would then be 24 hundredths. And the last one, I can't get to 10, so I'm going to go to 100. I times by 25, so it would be 75 hundredths, which would be 0.75, which is set as 75 hundredths. That's one way to do it. The second way is probably going to be your most favorite way, because you need to remember this fraction bar is actually the symbol divide. It means to divide. But are we asking how many 3's go into 4 or how many 4's go into 3? Well, if you're asking 3 goes into 4, you're going to end up with the whole number 1. And 3/4 isn't a whole number. So we're really asking how many 4's go into 3. However, on a calculator, when you type it in, you will type in the top number, the division sign, and then the bottom number. So that's how you would type it in. So this would equal 0.75. So go ahead and practice typing in 2 over 3. So 2, division sign on the calculator, 3. I bet you end up with something that looks like this, a whole bunch of 6's. And the last 6 is a 7. Calculators round that last number. So really what this is 0.6 with a repeating bar over it. It's saying the 6 is repeating. Go ahead and try 1/6 now. All right, you should have ended up with 0.1 6, 6, 6, 6, and then a 7. Again, the 6's are just repeating, but you need to be careful that the repeating bar only goes over the 6. Otherwise, if you put it over the 1, you would say this was 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6. So you can get some that end, like 0.75, and then you have to watch for those repeating and using that repeating bar. These are some of them that eventually I'd like you to just have memorized, knowing that 1/2 is like 50% or half of it, which would be 0.5. 1/4 is like thinking of a dollar. There's 4 quarters in a dollar and you have one of them, so that's 25 cents or 0.25, 25 hundredths. This would be again simplified to 1/2, so it would be 0.5. 3/4 would be like having 3 quarters of a dollar, which would be 0.75. 1/5. Now remember, you want to get the bottom to 10, so you would times by 2. So the top just doubles. 2/10, which would then be 0.2. So if that's the case for this, that's the pattern that continues. I double the bottom, I double the top, I get 0.4. Double the bottom, double the top, I get 0.6 and 0.8. Whoops. 0.8. So these are the ones I want you to start memorizing because these are the easiest ones you should know. You can begin with your worksheet.